Now let's move on to the superior mesenteric artery. The superior mesenteric artery supplying the midgut. The midgut going from the distal half of the duodenum, so all structures distal to the major duodenal papilla, and it includes the jejunum, the ileum, the cecum, the appendix, ascending colon, and the proximal 2/3 of the transverse colon. And we can see the superior mesenteric artery here, around about L1, is giving rise to a series of jejunal arteries and ileal arteries that pass within the mesentery towards the jejunum and the ileum. It carries on in this direction alongside the root of the mesentery and passes to the lower right quadrant. As it approaches the lower right quadrant, it then gives rise to ileocolic arteries that go and supply the appendix, and also a right colic artery and a middle colic artery. The middle colic artery is important because that passes up and that contributes to this marginal artery, which we'll come back to in a moment. And that runs along the inside of the transverse colon. And these colic arteries feed into it, the middle colic specifically. We also have the inferior pancreatico-duodenal artery, and we spoke about that when we looked at the arterial supply to the foregut. So we've got superior mesenteric artery, gives branches to the jejunum, gives branches to the ileum. It gives branches to the ileocecal junction, so to the distal part of the ileum, to the cecum, and we'll also find an appendicular branch there as well. We then have a right colic artery, and we'll have a middle colic artery, and these will give branches to the marginal artery. And this runs along the inside, paralleling mostly the transverse colon, and then it drifts down, as we'll see, for the inferior mesenteric artery into the descending colon. And we've got the inferior pancreatico-duodenal that we've spoken about. So the midgut extending from the distal half of the duodenum to the proximal 2/3 of the transverse colon, that stretch of the GI tract is supplied by superior mesenteric